Hello everybody, hope you guys are enjoying your Tuesday. Today we're going to be looking at a frontal system which on the back side could deliver some snowfall to parts of the southeast into the Tennessee and Ohio valleys, and then down through the mid-Atlantic and into the northeast, where you could be picking up about 1 to 3 inches of snow, even down in the south and southeast where it's not typical that you see snowfall this time of year. So it's going to be your first snowfall for many people in the southeast and mid-Atlantic, and we're going to be timing it out for you and looking at several different forecast models and seeing what they're showing as far as snowfall and how they're showing the system developing. First, we're going to start off at the National Weather Service. Pretty quiet, and we just have a couple of winter weather advisories and watches, winter storm watches in effect for Idaho and Wyoming. Then into Kansas, we have in the northwestern counties, you have winter weather advisories, some snow lingering there, and then over the Appalachian Mountains, and then into parts of Maryland, Virginia. Those areas could be picking up 1 to 3 inches, and that that's indicated by this winter weather advisory. Then also for the lakes, you could be seeing 1 to 3 inches as well. Some areas closer to 5 inches, and that's where that winter weather advisory is. And then also for all of Connecticut into parts of the Cape Cod area of Massachusetts. And then we have wind chill advisories in effect in this light blue color. That's for much of the UP of Michigan into northern Wisconsin and the northern, I would say, 4/5 of Minnesota, including Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then into Duluth, and then Bismarck, Fargo, in North Dakota, and also we have South Dakota here with some wind chill advisories. So very cold there, potentially negative 20, negative 30, negative 40 wind chills. So that's why you have those wind chill advisories in effect over those areas. Now, here is what the National Weather Service is showing as far as snowfall. You see, we have a good band where you're at least seeing a coating. As you get farther south, where some of this snowfall has already occurred, gets a little bit more sloppy and a bit more scattered, and then you have your main area of isolated snow over parts of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and then into Massachusetts, south of Boston, and then into Providence and to the east of Hartford. Really looks like the bullseye area where you could be picking up closer to 3 inches, some areas closer to 4 or 5 inches, potentially, if this really outperforms what we're expecting. Now, we're going to start off here with a high resolution model, and this is the NAM-WRF model. So we're gonna look here, and it's in these greens, yellows, oranges, reds. That's of course your rain, and then in the blues, you're seeing your snowfall. So this we already have some snowfall breaking out over northern Mississippi here, and then as we continue this further, you're going to see this snowfall really breaks out over the Appalachian Mountains and then continues as this system moves back, and you're seeing this cold front start to develop. You're going to be seeing some cold air infiltrating here on the backside, and that's going to bring some snowfall for maybe closer to 5 or 6 hours over some of these areas. And so as we get, we'll kind of go back here. So the Appalachian Mountains could expect their snowfall to occur right around 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight, and then as we continue this, now by about 7 a.m. Eastern time, really the big major cities, Boston, Portland, into New York City, and DC would have had their snowfall right around 3 a.m., and then they kind of transition out of that snow. Continues here with that snowfall for the coastal northeast and mid-Atlantic all the way into 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock Eastern time, and then the Cape Cod area could be picking up snow all the way until 1 or 2 o'clock today. Here's what we're thinking as far as snowfall. According to the NAM-WRF model, it has a little area over southern New Jersey and southern Pennsylvania, picking up more than or kind of outperforming what a lot of other models are showing, 1 to 2 inches or 2 to 3 in some areas. And then also a nice strip here where you're expecting 1 to 2, 3 inches maybe, and that'll be anywhere from Boston to really east of Nashville. You could be expecting that 1 to 3 inch, especially in the higher elevations. Now here is your European 1 hour model, so it's going in 1 hour increments. Now the European, I'm gonna trust this a little bit more because you might notice the NAM-WRF is kind of having trouble picking up on that cold air, has that shield of rain over here that's kind of giving less snowfall to these areas. So it's kind of having trouble picking up where the snow is going to be. So we have to take this model with a grain of salt. The European, GFS, NAM, they're all performing well today. So we can kind of count on them a little bit more. Now here is the European model. Shows snow in Nashville and northern Alabama come to tonight right around, I would say, probably right around 9 or 10 o'clock. And then as we continue, seeing snow start to break into the Appalachian Mountains by Wednesday, very early morning, potentially right around midnight, and then it continues now into the Northeast as we get into our Wednesday morning. So your commute time is going to be pretty bad across the I-95 corridor, where you're going to be seeing some snowfall and maybe even some ice mixing in there come your around 7 to 12 o'clock. So really bad travel for really bad timing. This wouldn't be a big deal, but it is at a very bad time. So it's coming right in around when people are traveling. So it's a big deal just because of that, not because of really the snowfall, but it could cause some crashes and accidents, unfortunately, just because it is snowing and potentially moderate to heavy snowfall at times with this event. Now here is the Europeans' view on how much snowfall. I think it's overdoing here on the southern side, showing 2 to 3 inches. I believe that some areas could pick up 2 to 3 inches, which will be in my snowfall forecast at the end of the video, so make sure you do stay tuned. But for the Northeast, I think it's actually underdoing, especially near that Connecticut, northern Connecticut, into Rhode Island and south central Massachusetts. I think those areas will pick up more snow than is showing on the European. I just think that they're going to be in the snowfall more than say the other areas, and it's going to be a bit colder, so this might stick a little bit more. Now here is the GFS model, and GFS model goes in 6 hour increments, so kind of more broad, and you're seeing by tonight it's showing heavy snow breaking out over the Gulf states, the northern Gulf states, and then into the Tennessee Valley, moves into the Northeast, even parts of the interior Northeast, picking up a little bit of snow according to the GFS. Heavy snow come about 6 a.m. Wednesday, according to the GFS, over parts of New Jersey into Long Island and the Cape of Massachusetts. And then just some lingering snow showers from the lakes as we continue. And then high pressure will take over parts of the eastern U.S. and bring some colder air back into place. Now, here is your snowfall forecast as far as the GFS is, at least what it's showing. And the GFS this year happens some years. Some years it happens, some years it doesn't. You kind of see on the shores, it kind of doesn't show the snowfall amount. So that's a problem we're having with the GFS this year, unfortunately. But generally, the surrounding areas will kind of give you a good idea of, if you live on the shore, how much you're going to see. So you're seeing the GFS picking up on 5 to 6 inches over parts indicated by that purple, over parts of western Tennessee into northern Mississippi and then into eastern Arkansas. That's probably not going to happen, especially, I mean, I think you could see snow there, but I just don't think you're going to see 5 inches of snow, and even if this does happen, maybe 2 inches will stick to the ground. So this isn't taking into account how much will stick, it's just how much is actually going to fall. Then as we go into the Northeast, you're seeing a good 1 to 3 inches. Isolated areas could pick up 4 to 5 inches, and over the Northeast, I think that's not out of the realm of possibility. But over the Southeast, where it's still going to be relatively warm, where you're going from 60 degrees, let's say, to 32 degrees, to get that snowfall, probably not going to stick too well. And even if it does fall down, and maybe the models are right, you'll see 5 inches. It won't stick on the roads because your roads will be wet from about an inch of rain that you guys should pick up because of all this rainfall. So it won't be a big deal even if this does happen. It's not a big major event. Now here's the NAM 3KM model. And this is the final model I want to show you. So here is kind of some thunderstorm activity breaking out, and I think the NAM has a pretty good grasp on what's going to happen here. You see some scattered snow showers over parts of the Gulf states and the southeast, but I don't think it's going to be one big organized band until it hits about east of the Appalachian. Then it really starts to organize itself and kind of concentrate itself, where it's showing that pretty moderate to heavy band of snowfall over parts of the coastal northeast and the I-95 corridor. Now, we continue this, and this would be for about Wednesday 6 or 7 a.m. So right at that rush hour, you're kind of wrapping up with that snowfall according to the NAM, and then it kind of gets out of here by Wednesday 2 p.m. Now here is the snowfall from the NAM, and I kind of agree with this the most. I don't think that these areas will pick up maybe 4 or 5 inches. I think isolated areas could, but this widespread probably not going to happen. But the 1 to 3 inch area that the NAM is showing, I think it's doing a very good job with this system, and you'll see that here with my snowfall forecast that I'm about to show you. So here is my first layer, and I just want to show that there is going to be lake effect over these areas. So if you do live in the UP of Michigan, if you do live in parts of western Michigan, if you live in Ohio, Pennsylvania, or upstate New York, and especially northern upstate New York, where you're used to lake effect, you will still be seeing some lake effect, but I'm not taking that into account in my forecast. Now here is your first layer, and you're seeing about a coating to an inch anywhere from eastern Arkansas all the way up through northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, and then into parts of Tennessee, western North Carolina, most of Virginia except for around the Virginia Beach area, and then as you get into the Delmarva and up through all the way up into coastal Maine, and that also includes parts of New Hampshire and Vermont, you're seeing a coating to maybe an inch of snowfall. Now here is your second layer, 1 to 3 inches. I think you could pick up 1 to 3 inches over western Tennessee and into Arkansas, some of which has already fell, but still taking that into account, and then 1 to 3 inches over parts anywhere from the Appalachians and then stretching more into the coastal areas. Anyways, guys, that is going to wrap up the video. That was my snowfall forecast, and I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you never miss a video when I upload. Anyways, guys, that was Eli the Weather Guy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.